Let's get right into it. Number 7. The boy who didn't sleep. Imagine being 17 and deciding, you know what sounds fun? Not sleeping for 11 days straight. That's exactly what high schooler Randy Gardner did in 1964 for a science fair project. Because, apparently, volcano models weren't dangerous enough. At first, it was just little stuff. He forgot words mid-sentence, couldn't remember simple facts, and randomly burst into laughter at nothing. By day 5, things got freakier. He started hallucinating. He thought street signs were people. He imagined he was a famous football player. By day 11, his body was basically operating on Windows 95 with 200 Chrome tabs open. But here's the weird part, he didn't die. Scientists thought going that long without sleep might kill you outright. But Randy just crashed for 14 hours, woke up, and eventually went back to normal. To this day, some researchers argue he definitely did long-term damage to his brain, even if he lived to tell the tale. So yeah, next time you brag about pulling an all-nighter, remember, the kid who holds the world record for no sleep wasn't superhuman. He was just a teenager too stubborn to admit he was tired. And his prize? A lifetime of being a very creepy footnote in sleep science. Number 6. The Soviet Sleep Experiment. You've probably heard of the Soviet Sleep Experiment as a creepypasta, the one where Russian prisoners are pumped full of experimental gas and go completely feral after 2 weeks without sleep. But here's the disturbing twist. While the exact story is fake, it's based on the kind of real experiments that Soviet and Western scientists actually toyed with. See? During the Cold War, both sides were obsessed with creating the ultimate soldier, someone who didn't need sleep, didn't complain, and didn't collapse after marching for days. They tested stimulants, weird gas mixtures, and forced wakefulness to see if humans could basically be turned into robots. Spoiler, they couldn't. Instead, they got paranoia, hallucinations, and violent psychotic breaks. The reason this urban legend sticks so well is because it's not that far from reality. Long-term sleep deprivation actually does turn the human brain into a horror show. You start seeing things that aren't there, you lose touch with reality, and eventually, your body starts shutting down. It's not monsters ripping out their own organs, but the truth is arguably scarier. Your own brain betrays you. Basically, the Soviet sleep experiment is fake, but the science behind it is real enough to make you lose sleep tonight. Number 5. The Dream Deprivation Lab Rats. If you've ever felt guilty about hitting snooze, don't worry. At least you weren't a rat in a 1980s sleep lab. See? Scientists decided to find out what would happen if you literally never let a creature dream. The method? Pure nightmare fuel. They put rats on a little rotating platform suspended over water. Every time the rat started to slip into REM sleep, the stage where dreams happen, the platform tilted, and splash, down into the water it went. Imagine being jolted awake every single time your brain tries to hit the dream stage. Over days, the rats became disoriented, aggressive, and eventually, just stopped functioning. Their immune systems crashed, they developed sores, lost weight even while eating, and some straight up died, all from not dreaming. Here's the kicker. The experiments showed that REM sleep isn't just for making weird movies in your head about your ex riding a unicycle, it's crucial for survival. Without it, your body basically self-destructs. The rats became living proof that dreaming is as biologically essential as breathing. So the next time you wake up from a bizarre dream about fighting a raccoon with a lightsaber, be grateful. That nonsense is literally keeping you alive. Number 4. U.S. Military sleep trials. So naturally, they've tried every sketchy method to keep people alert. We're talking experimental stimulants, brutal sleep deprivation schedules, and even trying to train soldiers to live on just a couple hours of sleep. In the early 2000s, they even tested something called sleep banking, letting soldiers load up on sleep before missions, then seeing how long they could run without rest. The results were ugly. Reaction times tanked, decision-making got sloppy, soldiers started hallucinating enemy movement where there was none, which is not exactly ideal when you're carrying weapons. Oh, and then there's the drug trials. Sure, it bought them a few more hours of wakefulness, but at the cost of fried nervous systems, paranoia, and the occasional psychotic break. The creepiest part? These experiments confirmed that no matter how much caffeine, meth, or fancy pharmaceuticals you pump into a human body, there's no escaping biology. The brain will crash, and when it does, it doesn't just need a nap, it goes full-on system meltdown. So yeah, turns out soldiers aren't robots. They're fragile meat machines who need naps just like the rest of us. Number 3. The Soviet Sleep Deprivation Chamber. Okay, so this one sits somewhere between real science and urban legend, but it's too infamous to skip. The so-called Russian sleep experiment allegedly took place in the 1940s, where Soviet scientists supposedly locked political prisoners in a sealed chamber and pumped in a stimulant gas to keep them awake for 15 days straight. Now, here's the thing. There's no solid historical proof that it actually happened the way creepypasta blogs describe it. But the story blew up online because it feels disturbingly plausible. According to the tale, the prisoners descended into madness, mutilating themselves, screaming, and eventually begging to be put back to sleep. By the end, they were described as horribly disfigured but desperate to stay awake. Even if the story is exaggerated or totally fabricated, the underlying idea still hits hard. Long-term sleep deprivation makes the brain eat itself alive. Real studies confirm it leads to paranoia, hallucinations, memory breakdown, and sometimes permanent psychosis. So while the Russian sleep experiment is probably just a nightmare dressed up as history, it's still a disturbingly accurate metaphor for what happens when you break the human need for sleep. Basically, whether it's fact or fiction, the story's popularity proves one thing: nothing terrifies people more than losing control of their own mind. Number 2. NASA's astronaut sleep studies. Turns out, astronauts are terrible sleepers. The International Space Station might look cool, but try catching some Z's while orbiting Earth every 90 minutes, meaning the sun rises and sets 16 times a day. Your body has no idea what time it is, and your circadian rhythm basically throws a cosmic tantrum. NASA ran extensive studies to figure out how bad this is, and the results were bleak. Astronauts often only get 5 to 6 hours of fragmented sleep per night, which wrecks their alertness. That's dangerous when your job involves controlling millions of dollars of equipment and, not dying in space. The solution? Sleeping pills. Lots of them. A shocking percentage of astronauts reported using sedatives just to get a few hours of shut-eye. But of course, sleeping pills come with side effects like grogginess, memory issues, and slower reaction times, the exact opposite of what you want when you're floating in a metal can 250 miles above Earth. So yeah, space might be humanity's final frontier, but it's also basically a giant insomnia lab. If aliens are watching us, they probably think we're insane for strapping ourselves to rockets just to take the world's most restless nap. Number 1. The rat torture sleep test. This last one is both simple and brutal. In the 1980s, researchers at the University of Chicago wanted to know how long a body could physically survive without sleep. Their method? Place rats on a tiny platform surrounded by water. Whenever they slipped into REM sleep, they'd lose balance and fall into the water, forcing them awake. At first, the rats fought back. They tried to sneak in micronaps, clinging desperately to the platform. But as days passed, their health collapsed, open sores developed, their immune systems shut down. Some rats died in less than a month, even though they were still eating. The horrifying conclusion? Sleep deprivation can literally kill you just as surely as starvation. And here's the kicker: the exact reason why is still a mystery. Scientists can describe the breakdown, immune failure, metabolic collapse, but they can't fully explain why sleep is so non-negotiable. It's like your body has a secret self-destruct button that only activates when you skip too many nights of rest. So next time you're tempted to brag about pulling an all-nighter, just remember, your biology doesn't care how productive you're trying to be. Sleep isn't optional, it's the thing keeping your meat suit alive. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.